Recording.
Barada. Croeso e Cymru. More specifically, welcome to Better Sequoid. Okay, so here's a little puzzler for us. Why am I here? What has he got to do with Gyles Brandreth? And what's it got to do with the book? What I have been reading? Well, those of you in Britain will almost certainly know who Gyles Brandreth is. He's been on telly, he's been an MP, he's quite a well-spoken sort of chap. Always got an anecdote, always got a story. I believe he does the after-dinner speaking circuit. He's done plays, done theatre, he's done all sorts of things. Anyway, he's just got a book out, and I've been reading it. It's his autobiography, Odd Boy Out. And in there, a story of his family deeply affected him, and he told us of the story. On the 15th of August 1900, his family, obviously not his direct family, we're talking about several generations earlier, were staying here, they were living here in this part of the world, and there was a tragedy. And I'm just going to try and get a little flavour of where it took place and tell you a little bit about it. You really should read his book. Whether you like Gyles Brandreth or not, it is actually quite a good read. Whether you like the character, I'm thoroughly enjoying reading it. But there's a really poignant story that's obviously affected his thought process over his entire life. So the family lived up here at Lledr Hall. They rented it off the Penryn estate. You know, Penryn estate, the people that owned the Penryn Quarry and were really horrible to all their workers. Yeah, well, they made so much money they even had other places which they rented out, and the Brandreth family rented it out. And the thing was, they were living here, and on the 15th of August they had a shooting party, and while the men were out killing things, the children went out to play. Now, as we can see down here, if you look down there, there's a river, that's the Avon Lledr. And two of the girls were in there having a swim, and one of them got into trouble. A young girl by the name of Eugenie. Her sister went in to save her. Tragically, neither made it out alive. So I've just let those guys go. They're obviously willing to get a wriggle on. I actually need to find a turning off up here. So yeah, so they went off and they did have such a terrible accident. And to this day, Mr. Brandreth, who some would describe as one of Britain's treasures, you know, in the likes of Stephen Fry, etc., it's affected him. He always keeps a photo of the family as was then, with the two ladies there. He always keeps it on a table in his one of his rooms. I think it's his study or somewhere like that. I can't remember now. So yeah, so we're going to see if we can find Cledder Hall, the Avon Cledder, and then I'm going to see if I can find the final resting place. Now, I have sent a message to Mr. Brandreth through one of his social media accounts. Now, bearing in mind, he has recently had an accident, broken his humerus, and he has, obviously it's probably a managed account, I would say. He wouldn't have had a chance to reply, so I'm not going to intrude really greatly on that, other than just to show you what we're on about. I may well do another video later on, but it depends on what sort of response I get. I think these things, you know, are personal to the family, although also of great interest to others. Now that, I believe, is Cledder Hall, up there. Let's go and have a look. Pontopant Station. I know that says Cledder House, but I don't believe that is the right building. I believe that is the actual correct building. Up there. Oops, I've got to move. So it does say Cledder Hall there, so there we go. So there we go, that's Cledder Hall. Now that's where I believe the family lived. Let's go and take a quick look down at the river. At Avon Cledder. Looks quite tame and harmless, doesn't it, and picturesque. Look at those rocks though. You can imagine, should the weather turn very wet, whoops, I need to go, there's someone behind me. Should the weather turn really wet, yeah, should the weather turn really wet and horrible, it would be quite dangerous. And sadly, they lost their lives. So apparently the two young ladies are buried locally, and it's been described to me that they rest peacefully on a hill in a graveyard overlooking the valley. And it's a beautiful valley. So let's just go and we'll see if we can find the resting place. It's a beautiful day, everything's lovely and calm. Who would believe that it could be a place that could be so dangerous and so tinged with tragedy? Now we're coming into Dalwyth Ellen, which is the nearest village. Now that has 2 graveyards that I know of. One is up there and the other one is down in the church. Now because I've been told that they're forever resting on the hill, I'm going to go with the idea that they must be and you'll get this one, obviously staying up there and not in the churchyard, which is in those trees over there to my left. Over that way there's the churchyard. Can't be that because that's not looking down, is it? So there we go. So obviously I'm on a motorcycle, we all know that, and they aren't known for being the most subtle of machines. So I'm going to see if I can park somewhere else and then I'm going to walk in. Right, let's find somewhere to park. I'm going to be looking for the final resting places of Eugenie and Virgie Brandreth, who passed away sadly on the 15th of August 1900. So here we are at what I believe may well be the final resting place for the 2 young ladies concerned. Okay, so I'm now going to have to search respectfully, obviously, through these graves. I'm not going to film any further unless I reach the graves I'm looking for, just out of respect for the families of all these souls. And so after a little searching, here is the final resting place of these two young ladies, the Brandreths. Such a tragedy in such a beautiful place. It's difficult to read, and I don't wish to step upon the grave itself, but that's clearly, you can see there, it's for the beloved daughters of Henry. Such a sad story, so beautifully portrayed by Gyles Brandreth. I hope you found this a really interesting story, and it is quite moving really. Let's just take one last look down to the valley that forevermore they shall be looking over. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.